Lesley-Ann, Nate, is it okay to call you Nate?
Yeah, perfect.
I know you're Nate on Instagram, but your Screen Actors Guild membership name is very different there. Thank you both. Really dig this program. So I'll ask Lesley-Ann first. When was this actually filmed, your episode of the show?
I think this was in May. Was it in May? No.
June
in Hot Atlanta. Yes.
Yeah, Atlanta, around that wonderful lake without spoiling too much, and at the school and all that. How long was this shoot? It's the kind of thing where you look at it and you go, I don't know if they could have knocked this out in 3 days or 3 weeks.
I think the shoot was like 8 days, maybe less, which is typical for television, but it had a lot of elements to it, waterwork and prosthetics. And so it was certainly, we were at times crunched for time, which is normal in TV.
Now, Nate, I don't want to spoil anything away, but I don't see any prosthetics on you in this episode per se. But when you were cast for it, did you have the whole script or were you just given a few pages at the beginning?
Yeah, I was just given a couple sides for the audition. Yeah. I didn't really know too much about the story. I knew a little bit about the dynamic between, the student and the teacher, Derek and Miss LaFleur, but that was just about it.
Yeah, it is definitely surprising what happens in this particular. I don't know. Do you call it an episode? Do you call it how do you call it?
I guess
a vignette.
A vignette. French. Nice and French. Lesley-Ann, did you get to meet Nate before he was cast on the show? Because sometimes productions do what are called chemistry reads or chemistry tests.
No, I mean, this moved pretty quickly. As I said, we were so crunched for time. So I got offered the role and I basically showed up and the show was cast. And I knew one of the executive producers really well, Shelby Stone, from work we had done previously. So I was happy to get, to reunite with her and then obviously join the show. And it was my first experience with horror as well. Some pretty dark themes explored in the lake. But yeah, no, it was, we were just saying earlier, like there was an instant chemistry with us, I guess, very comfortable, and that's always the best scenario when there hasn't been much time to build a, rapport with one another.
Yeah. Nate, big horror guy, or is this also breaking ground for you?
I love to watch horror films or TV, but I've never been a part of anything horror. So this was really exciting for me, especially, Black horror, which unfortunately hasn't been, there hasn't been too much in the past. So I was really excited to be a part of this kind of new, Black horror, stepping up kind of thing.
Yeah, when I was watching it with my wife, we were trying to think, like, what does this remind us of? And in some way, it was like Tales from the Crypt, but or maybe even Tales from the Hood, which Rusty Kundieff did. And I know he's worked on some of the Shudder stuff, but it really is its own animal in that it's modern. It's not low budget. Most horror in the past was kind of low budget, and this is beautifully shot. So one of the cool things is your vignette, because I've just learned that word through Lesley-Ann, as applying to your program. You're the first scene, the first thing that we see. Did you know outright that it was leading into it that, hey, we're first?
No, I think we were scripted as number 2, right? We were the second one out. So, things got flipped.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure being the first one.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. When I got the screener and started watching, I was like, oh, it's the lake right now. Okay, that's how we starting it off. So it was pretty cool though. It's cool to be the first one starting the film.
And was it filmed in sequence? I know most movies and most television productions aren't per se, but the occasional thing is filmed in sequence of the script.
No, it was not filmed in sequence. A lot of it depends on location. So, the lake we had for a specific amount of days, we had to shoot everything we needed at the lake. The high school we had, that was the craziest last day because it's like, you gotta be out in 30 minutes and we gotta get the scene, because the school's gonna shut us down. So it was yeah, it was all very much location dependent as to what order you were shooting in.
The high school was in Atlanta or that area as well?
Yeah, we shot the whole show. The whole film was shot in Atlanta.
Cool. And then Lesley-Ann, if you were eating something that looked like meat in this show, because I don't want to spoil anything, you may or may not have been eating something that looked like raw meat. What was that?
So I'm vegan, so certainly not anything animal based. And it was potato dyed with like beet juice. And it was kind of sweet. So yeah, so visually you're like, ooh, but when you tasted it, it was actually quite delicious.
There you go, Nate. Great project, but what's coming up for you next? Are you allowed to say, or are you under deadline.com embargoes and your agent going, don't tell anyone?
Well, at the moment, I'm auditioning. I'm waiting for the opportunity to come to me. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm just chilling, living life. Word.
Yeah. In other words, I hear that and I go, okay, so he knows his next 3 roles. He's just not allowed to say right now. And we're on to Lesley-Ann, yourself there. Are you allowed to say what's next?
No.
I'm developing 2 projects myself. So I teamed up with Revelations Entertainment, which is Laurie McCleary and Morgan Freeman's production company, to bring a story to light that is set in my hometown of Cape Town about my people. And I'm very excited because I've been working on this for 7 years. So that's the development process of like getting something, and we hopefully just found our writer, our showrunner, which I'm very excited about. So, and then Shelby and I, actually our executive producer, we're working on something else together that she brought me some IP. And that's the thing. It's like, I just want to make like incredible like shows or films with people I love to work with. And, I think if you're not being like this particular story that's set in Cape Town, it's like a role I've always wanted to do, but I'm like, no one's just going to straight up offer you your like dream role. So like, go create it. And that's what I did.
Cool. Well, my last question for both of you, we'll start with Nate first. Besides horror noir, do you have a TV recommendation you could pass on to someone who needs a new show to start?
Yes. Dope Sick on Hulu. Okay. It stars Michael Keaton, and it's basically like how the opioid crisis started in America. It's really informative. I just had knee surgery, so like I was prescribed these opioids like for my pain, but like very quickly like was like, I don't want this. But some incredible acting, Scenes from a Marriage as well, which is Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac. Of course, watch Lucifer, the final season.
Sure.
Yeah, those are my picks.
Nate, anything to add before we wrap?
Yeah, I think you guys should definitely check out David Makes Man. Yeah, on HBO Max. It's streaming on HBO Max. It was on the Oprah Winfrey Network, the OWN network. It's actually a show I'm a part of.
Yes.
It's a shameless plug, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's a beautiful story. It's another mostly Black cast and crew, a beautiful story, I think, that I think everybody can relate to. It has a lot to do with mental health, and it touches on a lot of different issues, especially with the Black community. But I definitely think that's a show you guys should tune into. A show I've been watching that I just finished watching, Squid Games. I mean, who hasn't watched it?
Yeah.
I think everyone in the world has seen it, and it's awesome. I think it's really good, and I think everybody should check it out. And that, I think, like Squid Games, it kind of like, would you guys consider it a horror?
It definitely had horror-like tendencies to the whole thing, but there was comedic moments and all that. But hey, you got taste. Both of you have great taste. That's what I'm learning right here. And,
yeah, Squid Games is great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to both of your projects, whether you're writing it, producing it, starring in it, whatever it is. Keep up the greatness, both of you.
Thank you.
Paltrocast.